Alright. Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh and afternoon everyone. Okay, there are still 8 of you haven't joined, but I think I'm going to start now because as I've told you before, okay, untuk hari ni kita akan start dengan chapter 4, but just a brief introduction, okay, recap balik apa yang you pernah belajar sebelum ni. In the last 20 minutes, we will gonna have a very short quiz for chapter 3 part 1. Hanya 10 markah saja. Okay, so I'm gonna share screen. Okay. Saya akan share screen. So I have to close my video, start sharing. Okay. Alright. So chapter 4 part 1, okay, integration. So for your information, chapter 4 ni pun kita bahagikan my notes. I'm gonna divide into 2 part 1 and part 2. Okay, part 1 and part 2. There are 24 of you now. Alright, so in this chapter 4, okay, these are the outlines for chapter 4 part 1. Okay, chapter 4 part 1 where it covers antiderivative, area under curve. Ini semua sebenarnya introduction to integration ataupun in Malay you used to call it pengamiran. Okay, and basically bila kita belajar pengamiran, it assumes that you have covered derivation ataupun pembezaan. Why? Because okay, theoretically, integration is an antiderivative. Okay, integration is an antiderivative. Okay, and then we'll proceed with the finite integral, and then in the finite integrals, and the last, okay, the last 3 for this part 1 is actually the integration method. Okay, saya nak pasti, saya rasa you all pernah belajar kot. Pernah tak belajar dulu sebelum ni? Class? A method for integration, substitution rule, integration by part, and integration of rational functions by partial fractions. Okay, so yang the first 4 ni sebenarnya fundamentals of integration, and then 3 ni adalah tiga teknik integration. Okay, integration techniques which are substitution rule, integration by part, and integration of rational functions by partial fractions. Okay, so so far boleh dengar dengan clear, boleh nampak semua kelas?
Clear, Doktor. Clear.
Okay, alright, okay. So hopefully this is much better than Webex. Kalau first try ni okay, lepas ni saya tak guna dah Webex ni, bercerai terus. Okay, so we're gonna use this Google Meet. Alright, so nah, yang ni sajalah ni selingan saja. Okay, hopefully you understand lah apa maksud integration. Okay, integration ni maknanya kita integrate, kita kira how much is the accumulated. Okay, macam our life. Okay, the definition of life ni berfalsafah sikit. Okay, life ni maknanya the starting point is from your birth up, integrates your life up to your death respect to time. So maknanya happiness respect to time. Okay, ikutlah you nak interrogate apa. Okay, you nak define life as apa. Happiness, sadness, okay, your study whatsoever lah. Macam tu lah lebih kurang. Okay, so dia punya lower bound and upper bound ni is also important when you want to integrate. Okay. So we're going to start with the first part here, antiderivative. Okay, macam saya cakap tadi, integration ni is an antiderivative. Okay, maknanya it is defined here. A function f is an antiderivative of f of an interval I if f prime x is equals to fx for all x in I. Ataupun nak senangnya, okay, okay, nak senangnya, kalau kita kata f2 is an antiderivative of f, okay, katakanlah kita ada function f is equals to, okay, is equals to, macam mana nak bagi example kat sini? If f is an antiderivative of, okay, is equals to no, is equals to, terbalik, kita buat je. If fx is equals to 4x power 4 of 5, for example. So maknanya kat sini if you differentiate, okay, if you differentiate df of dx, you will get apa kelas? You will get, kalau differentiate ni kita dapat apa? 20x power of 20x power of what? Dengar tak ni? Ni bunyi apa ni? 20x power of 4, right? Okay, 20x power of 4. So, kalau you guna integration, okay, someone was, okay, if you use integration, okay, you integrate, okay, saya assume semua orang tahu integration 20x power of 4, what do you will get? What you will you get, class? Okay, 20 dx here, you differentiate, integrate back 20x power of 4 here. Okay, kalau ingat balik, recap balik integration, maknanya power kita increase ke kita decrease the power?
Increase.
Increase, become power of 5, and then we divide by apa? By 5, right?
5.
By 5. The power tu, apa yang kita increase tu dividekan by 5, so we have 4x power of 5 over, 20x power of 5 over 5, so maknanya kat sini, dengan 20 ni kita boleh cancel. So we get back 4x power of 5, which is sama balik dengan apa we have the function tadi sebelum ni. So that is so-called as integration ni is our antiderivative. Maknanya bila you have a function, you integrate, then you differentiate balik what you integrate, you get back the function. So maknanya kat sini it is like a circle. Okay, you have fx, you differentiate fx, you get small fx, and you integrate fx ni, you get back the capital F. So it's never ending story, macam ayam dengan telur. Okay, you differentiate ayam, you dapat telur. You integrate ayam, you integrate telur, you dapat ayam. So which one comes first? Until now masalah ni tak selesai lagi, betul tak? Okay, because it comes around in the circle, it never ends. Okay, sama ada ayam dulu ke telur. Kalau ayam dulu, maknanya telur tu datang dari mana? Tapi ayam tu keluar daripada telur. Lebih kurang macam tu lah. Alright, so there are 30 of you now. So hopefully everyone is clear about the definition of the integration, which is how it relates with the derivative. Okay, and then here, quickly, let us find example 1. Okay, find an antiderivative for each of the following function. Yang ni simple-simple je. Okay, so maknanya antiderivative ni kita just ingat, okay, fx is equals to 4x. So antiderivative dia for capital Fx. So integrate fx ataupun you boleh ingat function apa, okay, kalau kita differentiate function tu balik, kita dapat balik 4x. Macam tu lebih kurang. Tapi nak senang, you just integrate lah. 4x ni dapat apa? Integrate. So we get, okay, this is, okay, nak senang saya buat je lah. Integrate 4x with respect to dx. Okay, so when you integrate 4x, you will get x ni power of 1. So meaning that here, this one quickly class, what you will get? Power of 1, kita increase the power, jadi power of what here? Power of? Dengar tak ni? Tak ada orang respon pun.
2.
Power of 2 over 2, right? So maknanya yang ni jawapan dia adalah 2x square. Nak confirm jawapan you ni betul ke tak, then you try to differentiate. Okay, 2x square ni differentiate, will you get 4x? Of course lah, 2x square differentiate, you akan dapat balik 4x. Okay, and then cos x, capital antiderivative of cos x is equals to apa? Okay, differentiate cos x basically dapat apa? Differentiate cos x basically dapat apa tu?
Negative sign.
Negative sign, okay?
Sign.
Negative sign, differentiate cos x dapat negative sign. Tapi kalau integrate cos x, dia akan jadi terbalik. Okay, dia akan jadi sin x. Sebab differentiate sin x dapat apa? D dx of sin x is
Cos
cos x. Okay, d dx of sin x, you akan dapat cos x. So that's why the antiderivative of cos x, or you can say integrate cos x, you dapat sin x. Sebab differentiate sin x, you dapat cos x. Nak tahu jawapan you betul ke tak, you differentiate balik. Dapat tak? When you differentiate, will you get back the answer as your question here? Macam tu. You differentiate sin x, you dapat as same as your question here, cos x. You differentiate 2x square, you dapat 4x. Same as your question here. So sama dengan hx kat sini, maknanya capital hx, you akan dapat apa kat sini? Okay, yang ni maknanya you, okay, hx is equals to the integration of 2x plus cos x ataupun antiderivative of 2x. Okay, what is the function where you differentiate, you akan dapat 2x. So maknanya the answer will be, okay, this one will be 2x square over 2. Right, and cos x tadi kita dah ada jawapan which is sin x. Yang ni you see, so you will get the answer here, x square plus with sin x. Tak sure, differentiate x square plus sin x, will you get back 2x plus cos x? Definitely betul lah. You will get back 2x plus cos x. Okay, so that's the answer for example 1. Okay, and here we have a theorem says that if fs is an antiderivative of f on an interval I, then the most general antiderivative of f on I is this. Macam tadi kita kata fx plus the antiderivative for 4x is 2x square. Okay, we say this as our answer. But actually this one is, we can also say the antiderivative for 4x is 2x square plus 10, or 2x square minus 5, or 2x square plus 5, something like this. Because all these three, for example, you differentiate semuanya, kalau you try to differentiate balik, only the first term will give you the derivative, which is 4x. The rest yang ni maknanya differentiate a constant, so dia akan keluar sebagai kosong. So that these all are the possible answers. So to make it as the most general antiderivative, instead of kita letak tambah 5 ke, tambah 10 ke, minus 5 ke, we regard this with plus C. Okay, we regard this with plus C. Hopefully everyone understand so far. Okay, very simple lah yang ni. That's why saya tak nak ambil masa panjang. Okay. Alright, and then here is the formulas. General antiderivative, or you can regard this as the formula for integration directly lah. Okay, x power of n. Okay, x power of n maknanya the power tu kalau integrate kita tambah and then we divide the power that we have increased. And then sin kx, okay, kx, cos kx, and then k tu kita bahagi. Okay. So we get 1 over k cos kx plus c. Cos kx pun sama. Okay, integrate we get 1 over k sin kx plus c. Yang tadi careful different integrate sin, saya pun tertinggal tadi, is equals to negative 1 over k cos kx plus c. Okay, integrate sin we get negative cos. Integrate cos we get sin, but this one because kx we get 1 over k sin kx. Secant square kx, we get 1 over k tangent kx plus c and blah blah and this one. Okay, so maknanya be careful with the constant. Kalau macam tadi, kita kata our fx is equals to cos x. Okay, cos x. Because for this case, what is our k class? K here is only equals to 1. Okay, k is equals to 1. So that's why its antiderivative is 1 over k, which is 1 sin x, okay, because our k is equals to 1. All right. Okay, so here, let's quickly solve this one. What is A? The answer for A class. This one, example 2. Fx is equals to x power of 5. Bagilah jawapan. Meriah sikit kelas kita ni. Kan saya panggilkan dia. Dev, are you here, Dev? Devendran? Senyap? Dev? Fawaz?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes. Boleh tak? How are you?
Yeah, I'm
Good?
good, ma'am. I'm good.
Okay. So can you
Yeah.
give me answer for this fx? Integrate fx. Dapat apa? For x power of 5, what we'll get? The antiderivative here then. Follow the formula number 1 here. What do you get?
Which
Steph?
question, ma'am?
A. Are you with me?
A.
Question 2A. Yes, question 2A.
Okay,
Nampak
kena differentiate. Differentiate.
Integrate.
Alamak.
Integrate. We integrate x power of 5. Using this formula, x power of n here. Dapat apa? Dapat tak? X power
Tak
of?
pasti ya, ma'am. Sorry. Tak
Tak
dapat.
pasti. You look at the table there. Table up here, the one that is circling number 1 here. Where is our n here? Power, what is the power here? Example ni, soalan ni fx equals to x power of 5. Anyone can help Devendran? What is the answer, class? The rest? Senyap je semua ni. Risau
One
saya.
third.
X power of 6 over 6.
X power of 6 over
6 over
6.
6.
Because kat sini n kita kalau refer kepada table kat atas ni, power kita, n kita nak is equals to 5. So to integrate, we increase the power by 1 and then divide by the power that we have at 1 tu tadi, power of n. Tapi jawapan yang betul kita kena tambah dengan apa, kelas? We have to plus with
C.
C, correct. Okay, we have to plus with C. So that is the answer for A. And then for B, Gx is equals to, yang ni nampak macam complicated. Gx equals to 1 over square root x. So 1 over square root x is actually equals to x kuasa berapa ni, kelas? Kuasa negatif?
Negative 1 per 2.
Negative 1 per 2. Okay, negative 1 over 2. So to find its antiderivative Gx, we just have to increase the power by 1, negative half plus 1, so we get half lah, and divide by 1 per 2 plus C. So the answer here will be 2 square root x plus C. So that is the answer for C. For B. Okay, for B kita dah buat. A pun kita dah buat. For C, Hx class, sin 2x. Yang ni nak pakai formula nombor berapa? If you refer to the table here, which formula? Number 1, number 2, number 3? The function is sin 2x. So, we use formula number 2. Yes. And K is equals to what here?
K.
2. So, maknanya kat sini jawapan dia adalah negative cos 2x over 2 plus with C. Okay. Hx is equals to negative cos 2x over 2 plus with C. What about D, class? Okay, dah merata-rata dah jawapan saya ni. Kita naik ke atas. Barulah nampak matematik sikit kan. D, I, X, capital I. Okay, cos X over 2. So which formula we're going to use for D, class? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is cos. So we're going to use number 3. Alright, number 3. And what is our K for this one? You have to carefully identify what is K for this one, class.
1 over 2.
1
over 2.
1 over 2. Good. Okay, K for this one. K is equals to 1 over 2. So maknanya kat sini Ix is 1 over 2 times with, okay, derivative of cos Kx is sin X over 2. Jawapan yang ni maknanya kita boleh kata is equals to 2 sin X over 2. Okay, so that is our answer for D. And finally E. Saya nak sapu dah lah yang ni, tak ada tempat dah. Saya tak tu. Okay, for E, I'm gonna erase all the rest. Hopefully all of you are with me. Okay, I erase all. Okay, and then for E here. Okay, for E, kita ada what makes the difference E compared to yang lain. Yang D tadi jangan lupa plus C. Saya tak plus C tadi just now the answer. Okay, Fx equals to 3x square. Okay, satisfy, apa maksud dia ni? F1 equals to negative 1. Maksudnya kat sini, it gives to you the boundary condition. So, meaning that you have to find what is the value of C. Okay, so here fx equals to 3x squared. So what is its antiderivative class? Fx is equals to x 3x cubed over 3 plus with C, right? Okay, plus with C. Or maknanya dia adalah equals to fx sama dengan x cubed plus with C. And here given to you the boundary condition, maknanya it says fx is equals to berapa? Fx ni value when x is equals to 1, when x equals to 1, f1 is equals to negative 1. When x is equals to 1, maknanya negative 1 kuasa 3 plus with C. Okay, that is the boundary condition we call it. Saya tulis kat sini sekali lagi. Okay, negative 1 is equals to negative 1 kuasa 3 plus with C. So from here, can we figure out class what is our C? Okay, what is C then? Negative 1 pergi ke sini, so C will be equals to 0. Agree with me or not? Negative 1 power of 3 is negative 1. So pergi ke belah kanan, negative 1 plus with 1, so dia akan jadi kosong. So maknanya jawapan kat sini, maknanya finally for this one, okay, our fx here is just equals to x cubed with C equals to 0 kat sini. Kita dah gantikan the initial value there. Okay, the initial value when x equals to negative 1, kita masukkan ke dalam x cube ni, kita akan dapat, then kita tahu f negative 1 is f1. Sorry. Saya silap Dah tersilap, you all buat senyap je. f1 is equals to negative 1, not f1. Okay, f1, sorry. Faham tak ni kelas? Faham. Saya silap kat mana? Where is my mistake?
X equal to negative 1. Doktor salah.
Saya letak
X equal to 1.
X equals to 1 kan. Saya salah kat sini. Maknanya kat sini, apa C sepatutnya? Value C?
Negative
What is C?
2.
C is not equals to 0, but
Yes.
C is equals to, kat
Negative
sini
2.
1. So 1, so C is equals to apa kat sini?
Negative 2.
Yes, C is equals to negative 2. Sayang. Dia macam bengong-bengong kat sini Saya sapu baliklah semua. Dia tak boleh kalau. Okay, erase all. Saya silap tadi. Okay, so kat sini. Dia start dah tu. Erase all. F. Okay. Saya have. Jap. Dia tak boleh. Benda ni dia pun ada perangai dia juga ni. I have to ensure dulu. Discard. Then I have to repeat again. Okay. Okay, so tadi f negative fx is equals to x. X apa? X cube kan? So maknanya the initial condition is given f1 is equals to negative 1. Jadi x cube plus c. Okay, so f1 is equals to negative 1. Maknanya 1 kuasa 3 tambah c. So from here c is equals to negative 2. Okay, so that's why jawapan kita kat sini fx is equals to x cube minus 2, not 0 tadi. Okay, sebab f1 is equals to negative 1. So f1 is equals to negative 1. Kita substitute x cube ni dengan 1 cube plus c. So dari situ kita dapat c is equals to negative 2. Alright. Okay, so hopefully all good to all of you. Alright, so now, okay, we have this. Okay, the definition of integration is actually it defined as an area under a curve. Okay, the area A of the region S that lies under the graph of the continuous function f is the limit of the sum blah 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 here. So example 3 ni, dia use rectangles to estimate the area under the curve. The parabola y equals to x squared from 0 to 1. From 0 to 1. Okay. So yang ni maksudnya soalan ni, number 1 ni, okay, graph y equals to x square. Saya rasa semua orang pun faham lah y equals to x square, graph dia macam ni kan. So soalan ni dia suruh you estimate, okay, this is y equals to x square. They ask you to estimate area under the curve from 0 to 1. Okay, from 0 to 1. Katakanlah kat sini 1. So kat sini 1 maknanya y equals to 1. And dia punya border ni hanya yang ni lah. X axis yang ni. Okay, x axis. So, yang ni. Kita nak cari area under the curve yang ni. We regard this as the rectangle. Banyak-banyak rectangle kat sini. Okay, maknanya kat sini. Okay, we regard this as the rectangle. Area of a rectangle. Of course, there is an error untuk you carikan area, akan ada error sebab area of rectangle maknanya kita consider 4 segi. Sedangkan yang ni kita ada benda ni sikit-sikit. So that's why dia kata kat sini estimate sahaja. Okay, estimate. Bukan betul-betul kira. Okay, bukan betul-betul kira. Okay, so to calculate this maknanya kita kira, okay, del X. Okay, del X ni maknanya dia punya lebar ni. Okay, dia punya lebar ni. Berapa panjang dia? Because rectangle is lebar darab dengan tinggi, right? Lebar darab dengan tinggi. So del X ni kita tahu panjang ke sini, dari sini ke sini adalah 1. So you can evenly divide this into how many rectangles you nak lah. Okay, for this case katakanlah saya bahagi kepada 4. So maknanya del X ni yang kecil ni akan jadi berapa? Panjang dia. Maknanya saya bagi kepada 4 rectangle, maknanya setiap satu ni evenly divided, so it will be 1/4. Faham tak kelas? Okay, will be equals to 1/4. Saya lukis belah ni lah. Next slide. Okay. Show dulu. Discard. Saya nak insert new slide. Okay. Okay, so saya buat yang kat sini. Okay. So 1 kat sini. So maknanya saya bagi kepada 4 katakanlah. Okay, kita bagi kepada 4 rectangle. So maknanya the length of this, each of this, del X ni maknanya 1 bahagi dengan 4. So daripada situ kita akan dapat kat sini kosong. Point ni kosong. Yang ni adalah 1/4. Yang ni adalah 2/4. Yang ni adalah 3/4. Yang ni adalah 1. So area ni maksudnya adalah summation ataupun hasil tambah the first rectangle. The first rectangle ni kita consider, okay, 1/4 dia punya lebar ni darab dengan tinggi. Tinggi yang ni adalah, senyap je ni saya tak tahulah faham tak. 1/4 maknanya when X equals to 1/4, tinggi yang ni berapa kelas? Y is equals to X square. Okay, Y is equals to X square. So to know Y value, we just need to put 1/4 into Y kat sini. Okay, substitute 1/4 into Y kat sini. So maknanya 1/4 kuasa 2. Okay, so this one 1/4 kuasa 2. Second rectangle maknanya lebar yang ni. Okay, lebar yang tu also 1/4. And dia punya tinggi now is, okay, of course there is an error then here, but it doesn't matter because this is just estimate. Okay, so multiply dengan 2/4 kuasa 2 and so on and so forth. Okay. Sekejap saya nak cek jawapan. Okay, so dia punya tinggi ni adalah kita punya Y value. And then tambah lagi 1/4, 3/4 square and then 1/4 darab dengan 1 square. So you calculate lah. So you just have to press the calculator. Kalau maknanya kat sini 1/4, 1/16 tambah 1/4 tambah dengan 9 betul tak? Betul lah. 9/16 tambah dengan 1. Okay, so you get the answer here 1/4. everything over 16, I put 1 plus 4 plus 9 plus 16. Okay, so here you have 20. Berapa ni kelas? Senyap je ni, tak tahulah you all. 30 over 16 darab dengan 1/4 kat sini. So 1, 2, 2 here, 15 here. So you have 15 over 32 is the final answer. Okay, 15 over 32. Alright. So hopefully makes yourself clear lah semua. Faham tak sebenarnya? Afiq angkat tangan. Ada nak tanya ke Afiq?
Tekan nak tu.
Kita tekan. Okay, semua faham yang ni? Hopefully faham lah. Okay, so because yang ni macam dia more to cara traditional sikit. Okay. So sama juga dengan yang B ni. Yang nombor 2 ni. Y equals to cos X. Okay, Y equals to cos X. Graph Y equals to cos X. Graph dia macam ni kan. Okay, saya Y equals to cos X. Graph dia macam ni. And then they ask you to find the area under the curve between, okay, X equals to 0 and pi over 2. Kat sini pi over 2. Kat sini pi. So you are to find this area. Okay, Y equals to cos X. Okay. Okay, kat sini pi. So maknanya kat sini kosong. So kita katakanlah kita partition this into 4 rectangle juga. So maknanya yang ni, okay. Ni pi over 2 kat sini. So maknanya each pi ni pi over 2 divide dengan 4. So maknanya dia punya delta X dia sama dengan pi over 8. So untuk cari area maknanya pi over 8 darab dengan, sebab yang ni silap ni. Okay, yang ni macam ni. So ni pi over 4. Kat sini pi over 2. Kat sini 3 pi over, ini apa? 3 pi, pi over 2 saya silap ni. Kat sini pi over 2. Sini pi over 4. So yang ni adalah ni 4 pi, 3 pi over 4. Ni maknanya 4 pi over 8. Okay. Ni 3 pi over, ni pi over 2 ni maknanya 4 pi over 8. Okay. Yang ni 3 pi, apa-apalah. Kejap. Iris. Okay. So here. Okay, so ni adalah pi over Allah. Ni adalah pi over 2. So kat sini /pi over 4. Okay, so 1 over 2 ni adalah pi over 8. Okay, ni tambah lagi 1/4. This is pi over 8, 2 pi over 8. Ni 3 pi over 8. Ini 4 pi over 8. Okay, so dia sama juga dengan pi over 2 lah kat situ. So maknanya kat sini is cos pi over 8 tambah dengan pi over 8 cos 2 pi over 8 tambah dengan pi over 8 darab dengan cos 3 pi over 8 tambah dengan ni pi over 8. Okay, and then finally pi over 8 darab dengan cos 4 pi over 8 or pi over 2. Okay, so macam itulah basically dia punya konsep ni. Saya tak nak go through, that's why I just brief you a little bit about this. Okay, hopefully you faham. Tapi kalau you macam masih lagi tak berapa clear pun, it's fine because this is to show that the estimate area under the curve later sebenarnya yang ni cara konvensional lah. Yang paling senang later on we can just simply integrate within second, kita terus boleh dapat dah area under the curve ni. Okay, rather than kita kira and estimate which is not really tepat pun sebenarnya. Tapi konsep dia macam tu lah. Maknanya kita partitionkan into a small area and then kita regard this as a small rectangle punya area. Okay, so actually I just want to cover up to here only for the for the today lecture. Okay, the final integral and the rest ni saya akan sambung in our asynchronous lecture next week. So today tak ada take home classwork submission lah. But instead, as I said to you, ada apa-apa soalan tak so far?
Tak ada, Doktor.
Tak ada. Okay, so hopefully all good. Okay, so as I said to you just now, today kita akan buat quiz, alright. So untuk quiz kali ni saya akan, it's just about 20 minutes. Saya bagi 5 minit extra untuk you because soalan tu hanyalah 10 markah saja. Very simple question. I want everybody to score. So, you ready with pen and pencil class? Pena saya tak nak. Saya dalam test saya ada komen. Siapa entah tulis sangat tak clear lagi ataupun you ambil gambar tak clear. Make sure after this you ambil gambar untuk sebarang jawapan. Pandailah sikit ambil gambar. Lepas tu cahaya tu biarlah terang. Janganlah macam malak nak baca, nak tu pun sakit mata. Alright, 30 minit yang saya bagi. It's actually 20 minutes saja soalan ni because it's 10 marks, okay? So, nampak soalan everyone?
Nampak?
Nampak? Okay, so you may start now. Alright? And I will open the submission at Google Drive.
Nampak, Doktor.
Google Classroom. Okay, boleh jawab sekarang. Okay, saya nak open submission. Stop recording.